everybody, welcome back to some more Darker tips. Now today we are going to be talking about the Ranger class. We're going to be diving in, and these are, I think, the top 10 things that every Ranger should do to maximize their gameplay, especially if you're just getting started. Number 1, understand your stats. You have to understand what your stats are, especially as a Ranger. The Ranger starts with 10 strength, 20 agility, 10 will, 10 knowledge, and 25 resourcefulness. Now, your high agility and your resourcefulness makes you a formidable opponent because your agility, having 20 agility, makes you faster than all the classes, so you're able to outrun. And your 25 resourcefulness allows you to interact with all of the environment a lot faster, so you can open up chests faster, you can open up doors faster, and that allows you to really skirt the map around and get out of trouble a lot faster than all the other classes. Now these stats can help your gameplay strategy when you're in PvP combat or PvE combat, and knowing this and using this class to your advantage will be able to help you just kind of skirt around and get out of trouble in very different ways. Now remember that your health is at 90, which is lower than some classes, so you are going to be a little bit more things, but your status are an advantage that you can use with all of your equipment, and it also increases as you level up. So keep an eye on your stats, and especially when you're using the Ranger class. Number 2, your perks. Now this is going to be a very common theme with all of the classes that I talk about, but knowing your perks, especially with Ranger class. Some of the best perks for the Ranger class include Crossbow Mastery, Enhanced Hearing, Kineticist, Nimble Hands, Ranged Weapon Expert, Sharpshooter, Spear Proficiency Tracking, and Trap Expert. Now, Crossbow Mastery increases physical damage bonus by 5% when using a crossbow, but crossbows are slower but they do more damage, so you have to choose what you're going to, how you're going to play style is going to be. But talking point 2, Enhanced Hearing allows you to hear enemy footsteps for further away, which is so helpful. It's not even funny. It is beyond helpful, I believe, because being in a room when there's a lot of sounds and a lot of things going on, that extra footsteps, you can just hear everything. Nimble Hands makes your default shooting animation 15% faster when shooting, and especially when you go against quick attacks against a rogue or even a magic attack, having a 15% increase will win you the battle almost every time. Sharpshooter increases headshot damage by 15%. I use this one. I love using this one. Getting those headshots, you just can kill, especially PvE monsters. You kill them so much faster. And Trap Expert dramatically decreases installation time when installing traps. Traps can be so helpful, especially when you place them on the other side of doors. You can place them behind you when you walk into a room so you can't get ambushed. It is beyond helpful. Now, number 3 is mastering your skills. Some of the best skills include Field Ration, Multi-Shot, Quick Fire, Quick Shot, and True Shot. Now, Field Ration allows you to forage food to recover 25 HP. I mean, you get into a battle, you win, and you're already a quarter of your health. Using that will get you almost back up to full. It is so helpful. Multi-Shot lets you fire 5 arrows at the same time when attacking with a bow. Now this one, I think it's helpful, but I also think it's not as good as Quick Shot, which fires 3 arrows quickly in succession. Now, shooting 5 arrows, I mean, if you hit all 5, your enemy's dead. So, just pulling that up and shooting and hoping for the best, absolutely, especially if there's multiple enemies. But Quick Shot fires 3 arrows in success, and I've had so much fun using this skill. I've killed a lot of people using that one. Now, Quick Fire increases action speed by 50% for 5 seconds when attacking with a bow. Now, this just stacked with a perk that increases your shooting animation by 15%. I mean, you're talking insane amount of fire rate, and you will dominate. I mean, absolutely dominate in each section of this map. Now, True Shot greatly increases projectile flight speed and physical attack power by 5%. So this allows you to not only shoot farther distances and hit harder, but also You know, those barbarians that like to dodge your arrows, they can't do it anymore. And number 4 is your equipment. The ranger can choose between several different bows, crossbows, and swords. Your weapon of preference should be a long bow, like the long range bow, like the longbow. But I just don't. I mean, I've used a crossbow and everything, but the longbow just is a lot better for the ranger. Definitely having that melee backup can save your life in a dire situation. Having the amount of time it takes for you to pull back that bow is a while, unless you're running certain perks. So making sure that you have that melee that you can switch to on fast and knowing what key it is, I've messed that up several times, is paramount. Now, as a nimble archer, cloth armor with minimal movement penalty is your go-to. You don't want heavy armors because you want to be nimble. You want to be able to get out of, especially out of skeleton ranges and out of barbarian ranges who have higher attack range. That's what you need. It's better to use a bow or crossbow for regular fighting and sniping enemies. And this goes back to what I was saying. Bow or crossbow, I mean, it's up to you, your playstyle. I prefer the bow, but use them to snipe enemies from distances. I mean, I know that sounds like a dumb moment, but don't use them in close corner combat. Use them from corners, hide, be a little roguelike, hide in the little areas and wait for the enemy and snipe them. Don't let them come to you. And number 5 is use your traps more often. Traps can be a very effective way to control enemy movement and deal damage. Traps can lock an enemy in place if placed strategically on the map, especially in front of doorways like we talked about, and in front of certain choke points and things where you think an enemy might come but you don't know. Placing those traps will control the battlefield and make you feel better. Traps can be used not only defensively but also offensively. To attack surprising enemies in certain rooms and to kind of control not only like a defensive position but also luring them into getting into specific places where you want them. Now, the trap expert perk, like we talked about, decreases this installation time when you install the traps. So if you're gonna run traps, make sure you run that perk. And number 6 is learning to kite, especially as a ranger. Kiting is a technique where you hit an enemy, move away before they can hit back. So kiting is especially effective against close quarter combat people. Hit, run. This is a lot like Dark Souls. You want to just do a lot of little damage. Use your high agility to your advantage when kiting. Remember to keep a safe distance from enemies while kiting. There's a lot of different reaches for different weapons, so learning your enemies and learning different classes will help you. Be aware of your surroundings when you're getting cornered, so when you do kite, you're not getting stuck in a corner, and practice makes perfect. The more you kite, the better you're going to get at. Now, number 7 on our list is the environment can be used to your advantage in many ways. Use the high ground for better viewpoints on the battlefield. Hide behind objects for cover. Use walls as enemy swords and things will get stuck, and you're shooting in front of you, they swing to the side, they're going to hit a wall. Use narrow passages to funnel your enemy with traps, so we've talked about that. Remember, the same environments have destructible elements that can harm enemies as well. Use the wall spikes that I've died to so many times. Be aware of all of those, lava or floor spikes or wall spikes. Use them to your advantage. And number 8 is stealth. We aren't a rogue. We don't get the perks of going invisible, but stealth is still important. It's your best friend as a ranger, honestly. And avoid unnecessary fights. You're gonna die multiple times in this game. You don't need to run into every fight. Stealth can also be used to drop on unexpected enemies. It can use to move slowly to increase your stealth. Use the shadows, use grass in certain maps to hide from enemies. But keep in mind, some enemies do have an enhanced sense and can detect you even when you are stealth. So be careful with that. Number 9, keep your distance. And we've kind of talked about this a little bit, but as a ranger, you are most effective at range. And I feel like that should be common knowledge, but it's not. I've seen a lot of rangers in this game go in and just use melee. And use your long-range weapon to attack enemies. Get as many hits as you can in. Keep a distance, allowing you to react to your enemy's movement more effectively, and it also gives you more time to plan what you're going to be doing. Remember, some enemies have ranged attacks as well, but just keep moving, dodge and move and dodge and move. Don't let your enemies corner you. I don't know how many times I've shut a door behind me and now I'm trapped in a room. Before you shut that door, make sure you're alone. Always have an escape route when you go into it. And number 10, and this is last, practice makes perfect. The more you play as a ranger, the better you'll get. Try different strategies, learn from your mistakes, play with friends, join some online communities for tips and tricks. I'm always giving advice. I'd love to play with you guys. Watch other players, learn from their gameplay. I'm still new, but learn from me. Learn from my mistakes, and most importantly, have fun. Make sure that you tag me in all of your funny clips and send me those. I'd love to see them. Alright guys, as always, it's been fun, it's been real fun. We'll see you next time. Thank you.